Hey guys, and welcome to the patch notes for the 18th of April 2018 patch. So these patch notes are huge. Just look at the scroll bar up here. These patch notes are massive, and there's a lot of very important changes in these patch notes. The biggest changes are to gear scaling and how PvP works in Black Desert. There are also a bunch of other minor changes, some nice changes to the drop rates for yellow accessories, and some revisions to the gear enhancement system, but the biggest things are definitely to how gear scales and how crowd control works in PvP. So, first off, the events. There's a boost for the Griffin helmet drop rate for the next week from right after this maintenance until the 25th before the maintenance, and it is going to double the drop rate. There's also a Blackstone drop rate boost event, which is increased drop rate of all Blackstones. The loyalty attendance rewards are being refreshed on the 19th, so in about an hour from this video. The Ellie's Mystical Lake Festival adjustment has been extended to 4:26 before maintenance, and the splashy water balloon will now be respawned at 15 minutes. It was previously an hour, and it's going to be easier to pop splashy water balloons now. There's also a new guild boss, Ahib Griffin. You can exchange Essence of Fury times 20 with operation orders from Kama Sylvia for the guild manager of each city. From Ludia, you can exchange the operation orders from Kama Sylvia with the King of Navarre's Steep Summon Scroll, and you will get Spirit's Distress Call times 5 upon exchange. Use Guild Awaken King of Navarre's Steep Scroll at the designated spot, and the guild boss monster Ahib Griffin will summon, and Ganels will also summon to aid you in defeating the boss monster. And Griffin's helmet drop rate will be boosted for a special period to celebrate the Ahib Griffin launch. So, the big change from this patch, and what has got the forums and Reddit all ablaze, well, one of the two things, is the new character ability stat, Renown Score, has been added. So what Renown Score is, it's designed to give adventurers long-term goals while providing additional bonuses depending on the score. They say the reason for this update is to help you really feel your character grow stronger, at the same time help rookie adventurers to better endure the damage received from stronger opponents, which, I'm going to be frank, is bullshit. Renown Score is calculated as follows: main weapon AP plus awakening weapon AP divided by 2, and then you add your DP, and that's your Renown Score. So it's basically gear score. They're calling it Renown, but it's gear score. It will continue to offer various bonuses to help our adventurers grow. In addition, PvP balancing work will be improved following the Renown Score. Please check below for details. So they're saying they're going to rebalance PvP, but they said that last year, and it's still pretty imbalanced. So Renown Score can be checked from the inventory. It's only visible to yourself. So don't worry about other people being able to see your Renown Score. No worries about that. New titles relevant to the Renown Score have been added to mark how much Renown Score you've gained. So beginner, rookie, all the way up to the legend. I personally am the Undaunted one, which I will probably remain for a long time to come. Just like the magical crystal effects, these effects do not count towards the general AP and DP stats displayed in-game, so they don't affect your actual Renown Score. They just provide bonuses for reaching that level of Renown Score. So, these are the bonuses you get from Renown Score. The AP bonus is nice. It scales at all levels of Renown Score. It's pretty easy to at least get plus 14 or even plus 16. Plus 18 will require a bit of work for newer players, and plus 20 is when you start to become a bit of a mid-game player, really. Damage reduction bonus, on the other hand, is super imbalanced. So, for the first bunch, they go up in packs of like 60 or 50, slowly reducing. Plus 1, plus 2, nice and steady. But once you get to 463, it's plus 10, but then 470 is plus 15, and then it goes up by 5 for every iteration after. And each iteration is only about 7 to 6 gear score, going down as you get higher, different. So the difference between someone at 450 gear score, which would be plus 9, and someone at 550 gear score, which is plus 75, is 69 damage reduction, which is massive. Heck, even someone at just 500, so 40, is still 31 damage reduction above someone at 450. So it's only about 50 difference, but it's a 31 damage reduction difference. Meanwhile, someone at 450 is only plus 2 above someone at 350. So clearly this is pretty imbalanced for people with high Renown scores or high gear scores. Depending on your character's AP and DP, you'll get extra AP and damage reduction buffs. These will be displayed with Renown Score. So AP, you get an extra AP buff depending on your total AP. I'm not sure if this is... This has to be just single AP. Like, it cannot be AP plus Awakened AP. It's probably just AP plus Awakened AP divided by 2, or just the higher of your main hand or Awakened. So, not sure if anyone's ever going to get past 309 and above. Maybe if they release future content. But seriously, like, once again, it's absolutely crazy the scaling they've added here. I'll go over this more in a separate video, but getting to 140, which will take most players quite a while, gives you 5. Then getting to 170 will take you another few months, or at least a few weeks, plus 10. So this is like where most new players are going to be stuck for a long time. Meanwhile, if you can get to 250, you're at 57, so an extra 47 AP. It's pretty ridiculous. DP, pretty similar. It's a lot easier to reach higher DP numbers than it is high AP numbers, though, as DP here is generally cheaper, and armor is cheaper than weapons and accessories. So those are that's one of the big changes for this patch. One of the big but not as controversial changes is the gear purification has been added. So purify equipment to lower the enhancement level from plus 15 to plus 14. Does not change the max current durability or any transfused crystals. And it costs 100,000 silver with a 100% success rate. And there's NPCs in Velia, Heidel, Caltheon, Altanova, Valencia, and Grana. So this means you do not need a negative karma ult. You can just grab all your gear that's at plus 15 and lower it purposefully to plus 14 for 100,000 silver, which will save you a lot of time. Makes it a lot easier. It's not very expensive. And it makes enhancing so much less stressful, as you don't need to, once you exhaust all your plus 14 gear into plus 15, you don't need to throw them on your negative karma ult, run up and get yourself killed repeatedly. Players can now also check all storages from multiple towns at a single storage keeper NPC without having to press the map and go to each town individually. You can use the check storage list to see all the storages per territory. You cannot move items to the storages, but you may use the transport function. The unstable crevice for Fairlayla has been added. They'll randomly spawn at maximum 100 in an interval of 6 hours in Balanos, Serendia, Caltheon, and Commissylvia, so none in Medea or Valencia. Balanos hunting quests are now available for anyone that likes hunting. So a bunch of those. Some new daily quests for the boss subjugation scrolls, which have to do with hunting, have been added. Not really going to bother too much with those. There's quite a few different hunting changes. New item bird meat has been added, which can be obtained by hunting seagulls. So if people need bird meat, that's the way to get it. New items to do with the hunting quests. So here's an interesting thing for Node Wars. While standing behind wooden fences during Node and Siege Wars, you will now take little or no damage from most attacks from the opposing side of the walls. Your character may still take some damage due to terrain, flame towers, or the following skills: Blizzard, Meteor Shower, Thunderstorm, Bolide of Destruction, and Sea Burial. So clearly, Wizards and Witches still the kings and queens of Node Wars. Even if the growth of crops at garden reaches 200%, the yield will not be reduced anymore, so this is nice for farmers. And a few little quality of life changes. They fixed the FPS drop issue when passing by large cities or NPC crowded areas. Fingers crossed to see if it actually works. And there's a few other small changes here. But we're coming up to the next big change. So, PvP damage inflicted by each class has increased, Archer server excluded. So you can see the total numbers for your class here. For example, Musa is 6.89 to 8.77, and Dark Knight is 5.17 to 8.21%. But here's the other big change that has everyone really annoyed at the moment. Crowd control, CC effects, during PvP have been adjusted. Previously, stun, stiffness, knockback, and knockback effects were considered in a set. Bound, knockdown, and floating were another set. And grapple was considered an exclusive effect where it could be applied in any situation except for invincibility. These ways were introduced to make noticeable each skill effect's characteristics, but difference in each character's distinct crowd control skills made room for unfair advantages. Especially because grapple worked as an exclusive crowd control mechanic, which further increased the gap in unfair advantage among classes who own the skill against classes who didn't, such as Valkyrie versus Musa, or Striker versus Musa, or Dark Knight. As a result, changes were applied to crowd control effects so that all classes would perform attacks and offenses in equal terms and conditions. This is only a part of the entire balance work we are hoping to place to better ensure quality among classes, and damage incurred for certain classes will continue to be adjusted. So for now, the changes in crowd control effects are as follows. So for knockdown, bound, floating, knockback, stun, and grapple, you can activate them at max 2 times. After the second time you activate it, it will reset after 5 seconds of cooldown, which means if you knock down someone, they get up and then you grapple them, you can no longer knock down, bound, floating, knock back, stun, or grapple them again for another 5 seconds. This is pretty big change, especially for things like berserkers who can no longer use their infinite grab combo to keep you permanently grabbed. Stiffness can now, well, it's stiffness, air smash, and down smash are all still the same. Stiffness can still be continuously activated. Air smashes are activated at 100% chance when the opponent is in midair, and down smashes are activated at 30% chance when the opponent is lying on the ground. Crowd control effects, so max 2 times. After the second time, there will be a cooldown of 5 seconds. From the first crowd control skill performed the first time, the receiver will be resistant for 1 second afterwards. And then after they receive the second crowd control effect, same thing, and then a 5-second lockout. The reason for this short period of resistance of 1 second is to prevent stacking up of same skills and also allow combos to be performed in between. However, this period of resistance may be changed in the future for balancing purposes. Air smash, down smash, and stiffness will not have restriction of numbers, so you can do them infinite times. When lying down, stun, stiffness, and knockback effects will not be applied and will not count towards the crowd control count. Even if it's the same crowd control effect, each class will have a slight difference in time in maintaining the effects. This is due to the different actions performed by each class, so class individuality, and will receive further adjustments in the near future to balance this out. Note that the actual changes that are recognized can differ based on your PC performance, network condition, etc. There's not that many, so I'll go over this more in detail in a separate video, but basically what this means is you can no longer one combo someone using crowd control to keep them permanently stunned or permanently knocked down or whatever the case for your class. If you relied on CC combos to stun lock an opponent until you could kill them because you don't have enough damage yet because your gear isn't up to par, you can no longer do that. This is pretty big nerf to lesser geared but higher skilled players, and a pretty big change just in general. It'll remain to be seen how they decide to handle this, and important to note, we do not have a review from Korea for this yet because we got this the day before Korea did. They have not received this change yet. We are basically the guinea pig for the first day, but so far people are not too happy with it. So, class changes. Note that the actual changes, no. So, there's not actually too many actual changes this week. A lot of fixed issues. Tamer got some changes. Character actions have been optimized for better gameplay. Cooldown of command attack has been changed from 10 to 4 seconds. And PvE damage has been increased for a lot of her skills. Hailing will also deal more damage properly after the summon hailing skills. The skill description of Flowing Water 2 has been partially revised. Character motions have been improved. Fixed the issue where skill Stretch Kick 1 was stating the MP recovered on a good second hit. And fixed a few other small issues. They also clarified what the Valkyrie's buff as well as Protected Area for Witch and Wizard do. It DP increases by 999, and for Valkyrie she gets 100% resistance for player and friends. For Witch and Wizard, its DP increases by 999 for everyone in the Protected Area, which is pretty insane, but it's good that we know what they actually do now. Apart from that, not any other changes really for classes that actually matter. There are some good item changes this week. The fallen monsters at Ackman Temple will now drop Tungrad earrings, so the Elite Guardian, the Punisher, and the Watcher. The drop rate for Yona's Fragment has been doubled, but seeing as I've seen one person in my entire guild get one in the entire week since they've been added, that is not a huge change. The drop rate of the following accessories, though, have been nearly doubled from before. Crescent Ring, Basilisk Belt, Sissel Necklace, Narkier Accessory, Seraph Necklace, Force Ronos Ring, Centaur Belt, Ring of Kadri, and Voltara Eclipse Belt. These are all yellow accessories, very difficult to get, very expensive, so the fact that they're adding more ways to get them and increasing their drop rates is definitely a good thing. Newer weapons have also been improved, so that damage reduction will be applied depending on the enhancement level. So you get 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 based on if it's Pry or above, which is not a bad change for Nuver sub-weapons. The effect of Kutum sub-weapons have been adjusted. So they've had a small AP buff at each level. It looks like it's an extra 1 AP at each enhancement level past Pry. So at Pry it's extra 1, Duo it's an extra 2, Try 3, Tet 4, and Pen 5. And they've also changed damage reduction and damage against monsters, but it doesn't seem to take effect until for this it would be +7 for the damage reduction. It actually applies much more now, but it's a nerfed damage reduction once you get to +7. So it's been nerfed. You have less damage reduction on Kutum now. The damage against monsters has been buffed though, so Kutum is still the king of monster, or so PvE, I guess. Interesting to note that there's a pretty big difference between Tet, but at Pen, it stabilizes massively. So, not sure if that should be a 72 or what's going on here. So, sub-weapons that cannot be claimed from bosses have also been improved, which is good for anyone using green sub-weapons. They are standardizing them. So, all accuracy-oriented sub-weapons should now be similar to the Sayer Ornamental Knot. All attack-oriented sub-weapons should be similar to the Steel Dagger. Evasion-oriented sub-weapons should be similar to the Parrying Dagger. Damage DR sub-weapons, same as the standard, so they're all the same. Kreia sub-weapons are all going to be the same as the shield was. Rosar sub-weapons, same as the shield. So, nice change, especially because Steel Dagger and Sayer Ornamental Knot definitely stood out among their respective classes, as did the Vanguard's shield. So, these are better now, but they've also buffed Nuver, so it'll remain to be seen if you still want to use greens, or if you really want a Nuver for sure now. The effects of the Gias and Griffin's Helmet have been adjusted. Damage reduction bonus has become -3, and damage reduction has become +3, so DP has increased. Steel Dagger has been upgraded from Pry to Pen. Damage reduction increased by 1, so at Pen the item will have a DR effect of 5. You can now sell Ellie's small water balloon to NPC vendors. So there's a new function for the Pearl Shop, so don't freak out. The costume prices are not actually like 4,600, they haven't been changed. It's just this new change was weirdly coded. So there's a new event cart function that's been added to the Pearl Shop, which means you can now mix and match different items from different outfits and buy them all at once. So if you want, for example, the Moose's Nous Shard helmet, but you then want the Karlstein chest piece, you can now mix and match and purchase them both at once. So there is a discount applied if you get a bunch of different items. So, well, it'll remain to be seen if it's a good change or not. I mean, as long as you're saving money, it should be a good change, but who knows? With Pearl Abyss, who knows? There's also changes to the monster zone changes. So, I mean, I told you, this is a huge patch. So, the monster zones in Valencia and Common Sylvia have been adjusted. So, this is a late game player change. The kind of experience we want you to have in Black Desert Online is a balance give and take in your PvE experience. We want you to be able to feel that as you train, you get stronger and you are able to become more efficient at PvE. However, the strength of the monsters in game are fixed, and as time passes, some monster zones become too unchallenging for adventurers who keep on growing and becoming stronger. Also, as characters become specialized or gain long-distance attacks, as their AP rises, it is inevitable that all monster zones have become overwhelmingly monopolized. For some, even before a skill is finished, all monsters around them are already defeated, and PvE combat starts to lose its fun. I mean, as fun as grinding for 5 hours straight is. Therefore, in order to reignite passion for PvE, we've added Renown Score and its bonus stats and readjusted the recommended AP of certain monster zones to bring back balance to PvE content. In addition, the drop rate of main items at monster zones have been raised, so the profits from monster zones with higher recommended AP has been increased, so that you can all hopefully enjoy the fun of PvE and profit more from it. This update will bring character bonus stats based monster balance adjustments, as well as making the drop rate for certain accessories at monster zones twice as high. In the future, we would like to bring you more balanced monster zones, not by making the monsters there stronger, but by giving stronger rewards. So, what this little blurb basically means is the changes to accessory drop rates, as well as the extra AP and DR that we're all getting from the Renown Score, means that they're trying to rebalance monster zones so that higher end monster zones late game give a lot more silver and are much more rewarding to go farm, so people get out of places such as Sawsins or even certain Valencia zones once they're geared up enough to go head over to Kama Sylvia and start farming Giffins or Mancham, for example. They're basically trying to spread out people from the best monster zones into a lot of different monster zones with increased silver scaling and hopefully experience scaling based on your AP, so that people with higher AP will want to go to higher zones instead of sticking to Sawson's Pirates or whatever your favorite zone is that already has amazing silver and doesn't really offer any incentive to leave. So, thanks for Renown Score being added. Accordingly, monsters AP in the following region has been increased: Kama Sylvia and Valencia region. The terminology for the following combat areas has been switched names from recommended AP to optimal AP. Areas where optimal AP is labeled are areas we can enjoy the greatest efficiency in defeating monsters with the optimal AP mentioned. So in Kama Sylvia, it's the Fadis habitat and Polly's forest. In Medea, it's all areas with monsters. So Rogue, Sawsons, Elrics, Mains, all of them. Monsters in Savage Rift will now start appearing near the Rift. Ackman, Elite Guardian, Ackman Punisher, and Watcher will now drop Tongue Guide Earring. The double drop rate of those yellow accessories mentioned earlier is also mentioned here. Number of junk items from monsters in Ackman Temple and Miramok Ruins has been increased. They're also rebalancing the Ackman Temple monsters. Veltar Eclipse Belt, double rate, just like the others. And the following monsters at Miramok Ruins will now drop Krogdalo's Origin Stone: Miramok, Old Miramok, Degraded Old Tree Treant, Degraded Ruins Tree Trent, and Veraro. Finally, there's some quests and knowledge, but they don't really matter too much. Black Magic Crystal Assault has been added to the list for Basilisk's Den in the item drop menu, but that doesn't really change anything. An icon to check your Renown Score has been added at the bottom part of the inventory window. After clicking on the icon to check full description, you need to close the window manually. And a few other tiny changes. So, huge patch, like I mentioned. The big changes are definitely the brand new Renown system, the changes to how CC works, so crowd control in PvP, and the buffs and changes to various monster zones. Hopefully Renown Score is iterated on and balanced going forward. I would definitely personally like to see it change so that it more benefits more players at lower gear scores rather than higher gear scores. Currently it's a rich get richer type feeling, whereas it should be a way to, as it's in the patch notes, allow rookie adventurers to stand more of a chance against veterans. I will be making a separate video later on this topic, probably later tonight. But yeah, so those changes are pretty big. The new monster changes should increase silver from grinding, which is pretty good because incentives to grind mean that more players will grind, which means that more items that drop from grinding, such as accessories, will enter the marketplace, which is good for everyone, not just people that grind. And yeah. So guys, that's the patch notes for the 18th of April 2018 patch. Comment below what you think. The Reddit and the forums are in an uproar right now based on all the changes PvP. So comment below what you think how these are going to affect PvP and what you've noticed since the patch started. Anyways guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you liked it, and have a good one.